Welcome to Business Unveiled Podcast. This is the place where we help overwhelmed, time-starved entrepreneurs like you make the profitable shifts to get more done and get more out of life. I'm your host, Angela Proffitt, award-winning 8-figure entrepreneur and CEO. And in every episode of Business Unveiled, I'm bringing you conversations that will give you the expertise and strategies that will scale your team and business so you can get shit done. That's GSD in our world. So get your time back and grow a business that helps you be present in your life. Let's do this, y'all. GSD leader, I wanted to take a quick break from the show to share something super important. Did you know that employee wellness is killing businesses? According to research, 50% of employees miss 1 to 5 hours of work every week due to stress. So I'm excited to announce that we just launched a new workshop called Walk and Work. And no, we're not going to be walking and working the entire time. That would be kind of crazy. Walk and Work is an easy solution that offers an in-person workshop and program that boosts employee health, wellness, and engagement. This interactive workshop takes employees through our 7-step process to establishing healthy habits while working from home or from the office so they can be productive while also taking care of themselves. Employee wellness at work is proven to have major benefits. Numerous studies show that healthier, happier team members are more productive in life and business. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Your actions and decisions today will shape the way you will be living in the future. If you'd like to learn more about this workshop, visit walkandwork.co and schedule a time to chat with one of our GSD experts. That's walkandwork.co. Now let's get back to the show.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
All right. So we've done these little wooden chips that on the front for some restaurants, it would say good for a free beer. And then on the back, it has a QR code that if you scan, it goes right to their restaurant menu to either place an order online or just see what they have.
And then tell them what you told me. You did it last minute for yourself.
I did it last minute for myself.
And
everyone loves
why
it.
did you do it last minute?
Because we ran out of time. I don't know.
But what was the inspiration behind, let's just do some small little QR code things? What was the story behind that?
Yeah, well, I mean...
I guess it's more different than a business card.
Okay.
So it stands out.
Okay. So you had the idea of, instead of a business card, which your business cards are so cute, this could stand up,
Yeah.
There's more. But that definitely is much more.
We wanted to get away from physical printed catalogs.
Yeah.
Because one, we always update our products so that they get out of date very quickly and we don't want to waste them. But also it's expensive and it's kind of a waste of paper and things like that. So we went and the trees. And that's
all that sustainability.
Right? We have, I don't know if you saw behind you, we have solar panels installed on our entire roof. Mm-hmm. We donate our wood shavings to our local horse barns, things like that. So we're trying to go as green as possible. And as we were making these, we had the idea that why don't we make a fun little Plinko game so whenever you come in to redeem your free drink, you can put it in the Plinko game and win fun prizes.
Oh my God, Austin. You gotta do this.
Free hug.
Oh my God!
So,
this is so cute.
Yeah.
This right here, he's like, holy shit, this girl. I'm like, do you sell these? And he's like, and at the last minute, which this was at the last minute.
Yes.
And there's a point to the story, people. Those of us who are creatives, we do shit last minute and it ain't ever gonna change. Get used to it. Okay.
That's right.
So
always thinking, always changing.
Last minute, and I'm like, oh my God, we need all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last minute, as we're finishing these things up to get them ready to come to the show, my laser tech was like, these are like those little Plinko chips. It'd be cool if there was a game. So hold my beer. An hour later, we have this design from scratch.
And here it is, and now they're selling them.
Yep.
And this is how you add to your inventory. When it's not on your vision board, you listen to your audience. And when people want something, you're like, yes, we sell that. Of course we do.
Yep.
How did you come up with these things?
I literally just thought, hey, what does 5% off your order and a free design? Mm-hmm. But then what can I give people that would put a smile on their face?
Yeah.
So free compliment that I think I misspelled.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you so did.
Yeah.
I misspell everything.
You can take this off and replace it with a new one.
Okay, hold on. So I'm like, what do these mean? And he's like, well, you know, what do people want? Sorry, Amanda, my microphones aren't out. They're in my purse and I should pull them out, but it would just be weird at this point. So he's like, oh, I think I just misspelled compliment. And you just now noticed this.
Yeah.
Now this is because it's not well thought through,
right,
because it was last minute, and the laser tech just does what you tell them to do. They're not going to check you like they should. This is where we teach proactiveness of someone saying like, oh, hey, what's your name?
Ryan.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan, did you mean to spell compliment like that? And then they're like, oh, you're speaking in the UK, and that's the way they spell it in the UK. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I would never even catch it.
Right.
People in the audience come up and tell me, oh, you misspelled on slide 17. My slides don't even have fucking page numbers. Like, but you know, 17. But that's how the brain is wired. It's like the psychology of the brain. Okay, back to this. Another free drink. Everyone wants a free drink. Free hug. Oh, that's so sweet. Leftover Halloween candy. That's disgusting. And mystery prize. What's the mystery prize?
Well, that's a mystery, but most of the time it's lip balm.
I'm like moving this out of the way. I'm like, why is this sitting here? Okay.
Yeah, it's we have a lot of industry friends as we build our company with other companies alongside us.
Yeah.
We become a family, and we like to cross promote each other's products that we really like. And Serious Lip Balm is some of our closest friends. They
Okay.
make killer lip balm and
Okay.
other products. So
Well, we're not going to do lip balm, but if we
That's
did,
fine,
we would wrap it with our logo.
they're cool.
We would probably do something for the mystery prize. It would be like pedometers or ring lights or like a GSD water bottle, so like stainless steel water bottle or t-shirt or like swag shit, where they could like go into the bucket of the mystery of what's in there. Wouldn't it be funny if we were like on a raised floor and people put their hands in there to get something and a hand comes up and like grabs them? They would piss their pants. I'm a jokester, so it's like I play these jokes.
So I've actually not ever sold this. I made this for us last minute.
How long did it take
It's clearly
you?
not developed to the greatest degree because that gets
It's
stuck.
stuck.
So I don't know. I
You
would have to.
just jiggle it, right? I mean,
Yeah. Maybe turn it upside down, but it's all. I would have to put my name on a product. I would have to be very comfortable with how it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's medieval back here.
no, I love it. I love this.
When I say last minute, I mean
I love
literally
this.
like.
And you
let's
started
do
this
it.
company?
Yes, I helped develop this whole company.
And how long have y'all been in business?
We've been doing this particular product for about 6 years.
Okay, and how long have you been at market? How many years?
It's probably our 4th year in market. This is our first year with our own permanent showroom.
Okay, and as far as ROI and like revenue, do you come twice a year and that's like you set it up, and if you don't meet your goals like from those 2 shows, you're like, shit, we have to do more marketing shit?
Not necessarily. We try
Okay.
not to be super analytical and like really hard by the numbers
Yeah.
because there's so many variations and
Right.
variables in there that we can't really account for financially.
Right.
So we have so many people that come back and say, "I saw you 2 years ago. I saw you last year, and I've been thinking about it for a year."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't buy at that point.
Right.
There's so many contacts that we meet
Yeah.
that become huge growth for us and for them.
Yeah.
After the shows.
Yeah.
Industry
And
friends.
the
as well.
relationships, like,
Exactly. And
People you
so,
meet.
like Serious Lip Balm, they had a need for something that we at the moment we couldn't provide, which was displays. They were buying displays from some company that was really expensive. They weren't customized, and I designed all these displays for us out of necessity. We needed to do floor standing displays, tabletop displays, so I created them from scratch, based on our needs. They saw
which
that.
is how businesses start, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a problem, you want to fix it, you start
Exactly.
it.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right.
Works out really well. So they came to us, and now I design and supply all their displays. And since then, we've had 4 or 5 companies come in and ask for the same. So you never know what you're going to get out of taking a chance and doing things like this. And a lot of times it grows more than just financially. We have a
Yeah.
lot of great friends by
Yeah.
doing this. So
How many people are in the company?
We have around 25 employees total, artisans, whether they're making artwork, they're helping customers, shipping, receiving, woodworking, lasers.
Are they all over the world?
They're all in our
warehouse.
All in our warehouse. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We do
Okay.
everything in house ourselves.
And where's your warehouse?
Ridgeland, South Carolina. It's right outside of Hilton Head,
Okay.
north of Savannah, Georgia.
Okay. I don't know if we'll be in Hilton Head, but
With,
do y'all do an annual retreat?
do we go
We do
anywhere?
an annual Christmas party that's always really fun.
That's not the same. So next year you're going to do an annual retreat. I'm going to come do it.
Okay.
And this is what we're going to do. Since you have 25 people, it's like the perfect thing. It's like, she knows it's the 4 Ps. It's like people, processes, productivity, profit. So like we teach a business model called for GSD, it's get shit done, like for productivity. Make sure you have the right people based on personality. And then make sure that you have, so like these could be like 4 different colors, you know, like it's a trademark, it's called True Colors. It's like DISC, Myers-Briggs, Enneagram. Every company we work with is based off of psychology. Because without the right people, you can't go where you want to go. And while so many companies we work with, they don't close the gap, they don't close the circle, because we hire everybody that we like. But I learned very young, like you can't do that. Like you can't hire your friends, like you learn the brain type. And then the process is about like buckets, like time buckets, like how do you spend your time? And so we work with your employees and say, okay, like personally, you know, you have a birthday every year, your family has a birthday, you have holidays, carve the time out for your family and don't touch that. And then if you do weekly things, like we all have to get our groceries, like I don't like to wash my hair, so I get a blowout every week, like I have my groceries delivered, you know, it's like there's routines, so go ahead and put the time on the calendar, you know, and then we color code everything. So we teach, it's a very elementary system, but people walk away with like, they're so unbalanced. And when you work on as a team to like get things balanced, it is, the productivity is like, the payoff is up here. I mean, the case studies are incredible. So before COVID, all I focused on was like productivity, like a teacher. And then I started dancing on TikTok with COVID because then I'm like, I don't give a fuck what people think about me anymore because I'm probably going to die. Like I almost died of COVID. Like it was bad. And so I'm sarcastic, but like I'm being serious. It was so bad. Like I did goodbye videos to like my family and the kids. Yeah, it was bad. So, but it's like a second chance at life, right? And so I'm like, I need to like get some shit together, like myself. Cause like I don't know, like I'm a workaholic. I love what I do. Like I will sit up and draw this shit all night long until I'm done. And I mean, it's not healthy.
My husband also works at the company, and we will sit there like all night and just talk and talk
Yeah.
and talk.
But like so you have to have like rules and alarms and we like our brain type. I don't know yours yet, but I will. We don't like it. Just never shuts off. So it's like, how do you shut it off so you can go to bed and you can rest and you can feel better? And then the way you eat. Like I just went down a whole rabbit hole of wellness, and so the process is time pieces like the second. Then the third thing was productivity, and it used to be about automation and software. And then after COVID, I mean, I literally gained 100 pounds and I lost 100 pounds, and people watched me through social media because I got a treadmill desk. I walked at a treadmill desk. You have one?
Yeah, he has one.
And how many steps do you walk a day?
Somewhere between 8 and 10 miles during my work day.
Okay, do you do it every day, 7 days a week?
I used to until I got new equipment and I had to move my office, but yeah.
So you don't use it every day?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He needs to
Probably
move it back there in his print studio.
Yeah, for the last month.
But do you have a goal to walk or move 10K steps a day? You don't care?
He just likes to.
Why'd you get a treadmill desk?
I don't like being stagnant. I can't sit too long. I can't.
Yeah, I can't either.
And then I did a standing desk, but
Yeah.
even that I felt too stagnant.
No.
So I got a treadmill desk, and
Yeah.
that really helped bridge the gap between like I'm moving, I'm motivated, and I feel like I'm more involved in what I'm doing. Even if I'm doing emails, I'm more involved if I'm physically moving.
That's how we learn. Like, we suck at like I told the girl, I'm like, don't laugh at me, but is Greece a country? And it like I can't like see certain things. It's like I'm really good at like these things, and that's what I stay in. Like stay in my lane, and then team for everything else.
Yes. It's something that takes a while to learn.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you.
Yeah.
And delegate, and allow your team to fail, but
Yep.
also grow with you.
100%.
Because you will eventually burn out if you think you can do everything, and in
Yeah.
some cases maybe you can, but
No.
they're gonna fall. They're gonna start falling.
Yeah.
And and you'll never continue to grow. You're going to plateau very early, and you're going to burn yourself out. So that took me years to learn that I feel like I can do everything, but again, it's going to start falling behind. So I have to say, all right, Sierra is unbelievable at what she does, talking to people and taking care of everybody, and now allowing somebody who's really good at what they do to take that off of your shoulders. At first it's stressful because you have to trust somebody else, but once they prove that they can be trusted, it is an unbelievable weight off your shoulders. And then it's easier to say, okay, that worked really well. Let's allow our artists to take over. Like, this is my baby, this is what I designed. It's hard to give that to somebody else. And then once you
he
do,
used to be like the main colors. He was doing design work. He was the VP. He was doing so many
And how are
things.
you feeling? Crazy, scattered, tired, burnt out.
But
Come on.
like, I come in here and I physically build all the designs and
But you
build
like
everything.
doing that. So that's the thing with your buckets, or I'm going to start calling them pots actually, because I've just bought a bunch of pots.
It's like a barrel for us.
I mean, it's
so
like,
much.
it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No.
I just completely interrupted you. Anyway,
no worries at all.
I'm
but
like, this is so a school moment. Like, I'm so in
I
a
feel
hurry
like we could
now,
talk all night long about this. And my wife is coming in
Yeah.
like an hour. She works
Yeah.
with children with autism. And she's psych major.
I'm a psych major.
I can tell.
I'm a psychologist.
I can definitely tell.
That's what I did for 10 years.
So, and you two have very, very, very similar mannerisms and your references. I can tell you're both very intellectual. You would just have
About certain things. Let's be clear. Very certain things. Very certain
She's also on a podcast with one of her coworkers. It's a psych podcast.
So she has a podcast?
She's on a podcast.
Okay. Like as a host or a guest?
Monthly guest.
Okay.
Or
Perfect.
maybe every other week.
Okay.
But it's a psych podcast based in the ABA world.
Okay.
And her...
Like AD split testing?
No, ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
She works with children with autism.
Right, that's right.
So her monthly segment is kind of more on the we help other people for a living. How do we help ourselves?
Exactly.
We find it so easy to use ABA on other people, but we don't like give ourselves self-help. And that's why there's such a huge burnout rate in psychology and things like that. So her section is just like, I read this book, let's shoot the shit about this. And it's been awesome.
Oh my God, I think we're gonna be best friends. And so I did this podcast. Have y'all done your lifelines? No. Okay, so like let's pretend this is a piece of paper and you draw a line, and this is the year you were born, and this is the year right now. And then you draw lines like this, and you put the high and the low of every single year. And you kind of have to do it with your family because, like, we don't know, you know?
Definitely have a lot of news.
So for Thanksgiving, my family, like, sat down. The whole point for me was, I mean, my mother is old. My father died of cancer. It just sucks, you know? And I'm like, I wish I had more video and stories. Like, they had crazy stories and crazy life. And so exactly what I wanted happened, but it just happened organically, where my mom, like, took over and just was all over the place, like me, like ADD. I'm like, okay, let's stay in order of the years here. But, you know, she's, like, all over the place. But what you do, because when you get to 40 years old, it's like you can start to see a pattern. And all the highs and all the lows. That's the first thing. The second most important thing is what people are saying. So my mother, she kept saying, but your daddy was never there. But your daddy was never there. You're in the hospital. My dad was a workaholic. He supported, my mother never worked. They had 3 kids. Like, he supported our fucking family. Hell yeah, he had to travel and work. But that's a sacrifice that you make in your marriage. And then my brother's wife was sitting there and she's like, well, both of my parents worked. Our grandmothers raised us. That was very intentional. That was very strategic. We've never had debt. We all 3 kids have masters. It was like a 20-year family plan. But that's their personality. Our personality, we don't fucking do that unless somebody's going to do it for us or teach us how to do it. So when I learned the lifeline, I mean, that's not the purpose of the lifeline. The purpose is to teach us every 10 years we have to reinvent, recreate, and grow, scale, sell, whatever. You have to. The other different brain types aren't going to understand. They think we're crazy, literally. And so it's like, why would you do that? You have this baby, you built it. But it's like, you built it and now you're bored. You know, move on. But it was like, so you start to see what the lows are in your family. And then my sister has 4 children. 3 of them are girls. And everything they were saying about their low had something to do with clothing. she's like, I'm like, so what was your best memory that year? And my mom's like, well, Knox was born. That's the baby, the brother. He's 7 now. And Caroline, she's like 12 or 13. She's like, all I remember is I walked in and Mama was laying in the hospital bed and she hated the pants that I had on because I wore these yellow pants with polka dots. And she was like, really, Caroline? My sister's very particular about like what her children wear.
Interesting.
It's like, life is too short to worry about what the fuck you wear, right? Like, I might have 2 different socks on. At least my shoelaces match. Like, whatever. It's like, but it doesn't mean her problems are any more insignificant than mine. It's just their life is different. And then, so I'm like, do you guys not notice these patterns where it's like, oh my God. And of course, me and my sister don't get along because we don't think alike, and that's okay. I still love her. She's my sister. But she is annoyed with all these self-help and development tools that I bring over at the family dinners on the holidays.
I love it.
They're like, and what are we going to do now? And I'm like, and I'm going to make a podcast about it, and we're going to share with our whole community, and they're going to do it with their families. And it starts to unpack a lot of history, which then there's a lot of negativity. You can get therapy and get help and actually die a happy person, that you had a good family and you had a good community, because there's so many lonely people out there, and that's why the suicide rate is so fucking high.
Yeah.
Which goes back to me working in a mental hospital. So there's always a circle and a loop to everything I'm doing, and we don't know the purpose all the time. I mean, I hated working in a mental hospital. It's not what I thought it was going to be. You can't really help people that are that sick. You can guide them with tools, but it's just the saddest thing ever. Anyway, we have a full podcast episode here with no ring light and no audio. I'm really sorry. But anything else that you all would like to say? Thank you for all your time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I love this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always rewarding when people
It's amazing.
Really enjoy what we do. It kind of justifies the fact that we spend our entire working day just creating something and creating something that we love, and then finding out that other people get enjoyment out of it's pretty cool.
I'm not going to be able to sleep.
So
right.
Crazy.
And you provide opportunities for 25 plus other people, and their families rely on you and your wife to run the ship correctly.
Yeah.
You know? So, oh my God, the 4th P I have to finish is Proffitt, which has to do with monetizing social media, building online communities so you can go global, sell your products global or whatever. And so a lot of businesses we work with, they outsource to a third-party agency, which is great, but they fail to do a strategy. And so they give them analytics. You have no clue what it means unless you really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so we had managed a production company years ago and got really into video because we did high-end events and weddings. I mean, we were paying $150,000 for a wedding video. It was a full little mini movie set. I got bored. It became more about the money and up in the Joneses. And I'm like, this is not about money. You have people spending millions of dollars on private islands. Meaningless to me. People are like, oh my God, you're going to call me your suitcase. I'm like, oh, and would you like for me to call you out of bed at 3 a.m. when your vases still aren't there and they're caught in customs? Or they get there at 3 a.m. and they're all fucking broken, and then what? You're on a private island. There's no Amazon Prime. There's no Walmart. There's no Hobby Lobby. There's no TJ Maxx. You're fucked. And you have to come up with something on your own. And this is how we grow. And it's all in how you handle it. You just don't tell the client. And half the time they don't even notice. Yeah. But you have to come up with something, right? So it's those situations that are real life. Yeah. I can't even make this shit up kind of thing, to where it's that island that I worked in, that was 10 years ago that happened to me. They hired us to do consulting. And so we do stuff with them every year. And we go in and do their annual conference. So the Proffitt piece, for the hotels, we take all their employees who were doing social media anyway, and we make it a contest, and then they could win a treadmill desk, they could win a trip at another property. And so they say they have a wellness program and an incentive program for their employees. No, they don't. They have one, no one's using it because they're not excited and they're not tracking it. So if you have little pedometers or an Apple Watch or something, my mom's company did it. She worked after my father died. And they gave them pedometers for Christmas 2 years ago. I'm like, Mom, I think that they're trying to track everything you all are doing because you're all working from home now, which is kind of cool. But my mother wins all the challenges, and she wins all these things because she's healthy, and she's, I'm going to win. And everyone else just sits at a desk.
So it's like, I'm like, Mom, quit winning. Like, you don't need the treadmill desk. Like, some of these other people are really unhealthy and they need to get up and move. And then they'll feel better. And then some of these other things will go away. Like their knees hurt, their back hurts, which slows down their productivity. So that's the 4P model. I'll have to go look at your social media and do a digital audit.
Yeah, we're being really good at social media.
Yeah, I've been
Are you-
doing a lot
you
of
read
our
it?
TikToks. They didn't have
That's my
TikTok
favorite.
or
Oh my
Twitch on
God.
Instagram or nothing like that. So
terrible.
I came in. They're like, we're old. We
Well, I'm
don't
terrible.
know.
I don't do any
You are
social
not
media.
old.
I
Look at
still
his
have
old phone.
iPhone 5. I do nothing
This
online.
thing, my phone eats his phone.
I go to like one website if I need. Like, I don't do anything online.
That's okay. It's okay.
And I don't watch movies. Everyone's
I don't
like,
either. I don't watch TV. All my screens are editing screens. I don't have cable. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I don't give 2 fucks unless it has something to do with our event or the airports are down and I need to be in another
Yeah.
country. That's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
And I was in India a few days ago and I needed to get here and I lost 3 days of market because of it. Yeah.
Dang.
But I'm so glad I met you.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason because I only could do certain things and like meet certain vendors. But this was like a fun squirrel moment.
Yeah, sorry for taking up like most of your day here.
No, it was worth it. And you guys, we're gonna like do a whole wall of like all the different countries we worked in the states and the cities, and then she's gonna work on it and design it. This was fun. Are you? Because I don't know how to say or
I
stop
might say
any
it
of that.
incorrectly.
30 seconds.
So don't quote me on this.
Blue what?
The Blue Zones.
Blue zones.
Yes, so
is it?
it's there's a book called The Blue Zones, and it's this longitudinal study that basically collects data on these small pockets of people spread across the world that have the highest concentration of centurions.
What is that?
Centurions. The people who live to 100 years old and older.
Oh, I'm gonna
There-
be that.
There's certain collections of people in the world that a lot of them live to this age, and they live healthy and happy through this age. And so the
They
Blue
can
Zones,
walk.
yeah, and the Blue Zones explains, they dove into it, like why are these people living so much longer than other people? And it comes down to a number of aspects. The book is broken down by chapters that have to do with community. So they have a very small community-based activity. Not necessarily always healthy, but it's always very interactive with each other. So small. I think there's one in America, and it's in California. There's a couple in Italy, but basically, and there's like 1 or 2 in Japan. But a small neighborhood where they're 85 years old, 90 years old, and they all leave and they meet at the pub and have a glass of wine together, and they're talking and they're interacting and they're learning new things. So they have a sense of purpose. You know, they're always
Yes.
like have something to look forward to every day, or every other day. So it's
Yes.
not just wake up, what do I do in my life? So that's a small aspect of it. But then they also get into a lot of it is what they eat and drink, and it may not sound the healthiest. In Italy, it's red wine and cheese, goat cheese mostly, but it's all local and it's organic, and it comes from the shepherd around the corner rather than the grocery store overly processed. So they're waking up, they're going to the pub, they're having a glass of wine in the middle of the day and having cheese and crackers and stuff, and they're just shooting the shit. And these people are living longer than anybody else because of these small, seemingly insignificant aspects. But compare that to our lives that we live now, it's completely different. And it's something that we should strive for, but it's difficult in certain areas of the world. So it's a very interesting book. I would definitely recommend diving into it. And then there's a follow-up called the Blue Zones of Happiness, where it's the same thing, but it's about how do we find the happiest people on earth, what makes them happy.
That's it for this week's episode of Business Unveiled. Now that you have all the tools that you need to conquer the world and GSD, get shit done, would you share this with your friends and fellow business leaders? One thing that would really, really help us and help new listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a comment in Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you tune in and listen to Business Unveiled. You can check out the show notes at angelaproffitt.com/podcast and link up with us on social media so you can share your biggest insights. And I want to know your aha moments. Until next week, remember, the profitable shifts and structures you're creating in your business help you be more present in your life. So get out there and GSD.